Okay, red alert. An explosion shuts down the Colonial Pipeline in Alabama. Wholesale gas price jump. The most they have jumped since 2000 is as much as 21% in overnight trade. The gas companies have to make up for that somehow. So be watching for the price of gas to go up very soon. Mike.
Yeah, indeed, Kevin. The backstory on this was an explosion late yesterday at a maintenance facility in Alabama, just outside Birmingham. Maintenance crew doing work on this Colonial Pipeline, which carries millions of barrels of refined gasoline all the way from Houston up to New York City. Supplies about 50 million consumers. Second time in the past 3 months that Colonial has been shut down. What they've had to do here is basically reroute some of the supply chain that typically sends jet fuel and diesel fuel, now going to supply regular gasoline through another expanded route to go around this problem in Alabama. Plus, they're shipping gasoline by truck and sea. It's a very quick response from the industry to get gasoline to consumers. But in the short term, we have seen the price for wholesale gas in New York overnight jump by, as you mentioned, 21%. Right at last check, it was up by about 12%. So this is all going to filter through into the retail price. By how much, we're not entirely sure quite yet, but guessing 4 to 5 cents right off the bat. And again, this is a pipeline that is a major supply chain. It basically is a major supply disruption is what we're looking at in the near term, and how quickly they can get things back up and running at this maintenance hub, that remains to be seen. And this comes at the same time, Kevin, that we're watching, actually, ironically, the price for oil drop significantly. It was down 4% yesterday, continuing to slide this morning. OPEC just cannot get its head around the idea of cutting production. They failed to reach a deal over the weekend, and that was a big disappointment to the market, which had basically priced up the price for oil at one point last week, $50 a barrel. But that was all based on speculation and nothing specific that would change the dynamic of the energy market. The news out of Ford and Unifor, the last of the big three to reach a deal on a new contract for a year deal that will see the workforce there get a fairly significant pay raise over the lifetime of that contract, anywhere up to $12,000, plus big investments by Ford in the Oakville operations and the Windsor engine plant, and really just stability, I suppose we'll call it at this point, Kevin, regarding the entire Canadian automotive sector, at least involving the Detroit 3 automakers, considering we've got 2 deals ratified already at GM and Chrysler. Both of those will see significant increases in the overall money being put in by the automakers for future production at plants here in Ontario and now Ford. This deal still needs to be ratified, likely going to happen on the weekend. Second Cup up for sale. Company announcing it's looking at its strategic alternatives, a euphemism to basically say it's on the market. And there's talk that Cara Operations, the operator of Swiss Chalet and several other brands, could be an interested party or not. Second Cup has over 200 locations across the country, but has seen slipping sales in the face of increased competition from, you guessed it, Tim Hortons, Starbucks, McDonald's. You name the list of companies now in that heavily crowded market space for high-end coffee, even though the latest signal is that we're drinking coffee by the boatload basically right now. Record-breaking demand for coffee globally. It's millennials and such, but nevertheless, Second Cup on the market. And yesterday we saw its stock price jump by 7% at the Toronto stock market. TSX is coming off a gain of about 2 points. Today we've got a spotlight on, well, interest rate speculation out of the United States, and as well, Federal Finance Minister Bill Morneau set to give his fall fiscal update later this afternoon. The spotlight will be on the government's books. Will there be an increase in the deficit targets from the spring budget of $29 billion? Some say it could be as high as $35 billion. And will there be as well some hints about an infrastructure fund, which has been talked about getting some foreign investors coming to Canada and trying to build up our infrastructure as well, looking at Canada as a good place to invest. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you so much, sir.